I live on a quiet street where everything seems normal. Every house looks the same: white fences, trimmed lawns, porch lights glowing gently in the night. Kids ride bikes during the day, and the air smells like freshly cut grass. But there's one house that doesn't belong. It's old, faded, and quiet. The paint is peeling off, the garden has turned wild, and the curtains never move. Everyone says it's been empty for years. I used to pass it every morning and barely noticed it. It was just another part of the neighborhood, forgotten, silent, harmless. Until one night, I saw the light. It was around 2 in the morning. I couldn't sleep, so I sat by my window with a cup of coffee, staring out at the empty street. Everything was still: no cars, no people, just the soft hum of distant wind. Then I noticed a faint glow in the old house across the street. At first, I thought it was my reflection, but no. The light came from the upstairs window, soft, yellow, and flickering, like a candle burning behind the curtain. I blinked, leaned closer, but before I could be sure, it disappeared. I told myself it was nothing. Maybe a passing car. Maybe a trick of the light. But the next night, at exactly the same time, 2 a.m., it appeared again. Every night after that, I watched. Always the same. A single light upstairs, behind the curtain. Always at 2. It never stayed long, maybe a few minutes, then it was gone. I tried to ignore it, but curiosity got the better of me. One morning, I crossed the street to take a closer look. The air was heavy, damp with rain. The grass around the porch was long and wild, but what made me stop were the footprints, small, bare feet pressed into the muddy ground. They led up to the front door, but not away from it. I felt my stomach twist. I told myself it must be kids playing around, but something about it didn't feel right. I knocked on the door. No answer. The wood was soft under my hand, the kind that creaks even when you breathe near it. I waited, but the house stayed silent. Then I heard it, a faint sound from inside, soft and slow, like a music box. I froze. The melody was delicate but haunting, as if it was playing underwater. I looked up, and just then, the curtain in the upstairs window moved. Someone was there. Someone was watching me. My heart started to race. I turned and walked away quickly, trying not to look back, but I could feel it, the weight of unseen eyes following me all the way to my door. That evening, I called the property manager listed on the neighborhood notice board. He told me the house had been abandoned for over 12 years. Nobody lives there, he said. Last owners died in a fire, I think. I asked about the family, and he hesitated. A couple and their little girl, he finally said. The mother was found upstairs, in a chair, holding her daughter's broken music box. The father disappeared. They never found him. His words stayed in my mind all night. I couldn't stop thinking about the footprints, the music box, the moving curtain. When the clock hit 2 a.m., I found myself sitting by my window again. Right on time, the light appeared, same room, same window, flickering gently through the curtain. I told myself it couldn't be real, but part of me wanted to see for myself. The next day, I told my friend Lucas. He laughed. "You've been watching too many horror movies," he said. But that night, I convinced him to stay over. We waited by the window together. At 1:59, the street was dark and still. Then, as the clock turned 2, the light came on. Lucas stopped laughing. "That's weird," he whispered. I nodded, unable to look away. The faint shadow of someone moved behind the curtain. Lucas muttered, "Let's check it out." We grabbed our flashlights and went outside. The air was cold and thick with mist. The front door of the old house stood slightly open, swaying with the wind. The smell hit us as soon as we stepped inside, a mix of damp wood, dust, and old perfume. The floor creaked under our feet. Every sound echoed. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling, and the wallpaper was peeling away like old skin. We moved slowly, the beam of the flashlight trembling in my hand. Upstairs, we heard something. A soft creaking noise like someone rocking in a chair. Lucas whispered, "Hello? Anyone there?" No answer. We reached the landing, and that's when we saw it, a flickering light coming from the master bedroom. The door was half open. Inside, a single candle burned on a small wooden table. The flame swayed even though the windows were nailed shut. I pushed the door gently. It opened with a low groan. The room was empty except for an old rocking chair. It was moving, slowly, back and forth, creaking with every swing. Lucas tried to laugh, but his voice shook. "Probably the wind," he said. I looked at the closed window and whispered, "There is no wind." Then we heard a whisper soft, right behind us. "You came back." Lucas jumped, spinning around. No one was there. I felt the air turn cold. My flashlight flickered, and for a moment, I thought I saw small handprints on the wall, dozens of them, scratched into the wood. Tiny, child-sized prints. The door suddenly slammed shut. The candle went out, and we were swallowed by darkness. My heart was beating so hard I could hear it in my ears. Something brushed against my hand. It was cold and small, like a child's fingers. Lucas screamed, and the candlelight flickered back on. For a split second, I saw her, a little girl standing in the corner, eyes dark and hollow, holding a cracked music box. Her dress was torn, her hair matted. She whispered again, "He's still here." The floor began to shake. The rocking chair moved violently on its own, crashing against the wall. The candle flame stretched high, almost touching the ceiling. From behind the girl, the shadows began to move. A tall, twisted figure crawled out, long arms, distorted face, eyes glinting like glass in the candlelight. It moved toward us slowly, dragging itself across the floor. Lucas grabbed me, and we ran to the door, but it wouldn't open. I slammed my shoulder against it once, twice, 3 times, and finally, it burst open. We stumbled down the stairs as the house groaned, the floorboards cracking under our feet. The music box was still playing, echoing through the walls. We reached the front door, but before stepping out, I turned around for a moment. The girl was standing at the top of the stairs, watching us. Behind her, the shadow loomed larger, crawling toward her like smoke. Then the candle went out, and everything went dark. We ran across the street without looking back. When we finally stopped at my house, both of us were shaking. Lucas was pale. "We shouldn't have gone in," he said. I nodded, unable to speak. I looked across the street. The window was dark again. The police came the next morning. We told them everything. They searched the house, but found nothing, no candle, no footprints, no sign that anyone had been there. They said maybe we imagined it, that it was stress or a prank. But I knew what I saw. I knew what I felt. That night, Lucas came over again, his face pale and eyes wide. "I found this," he said, pulling something from his pocket. It was the music box. The same one. "I didn't take it," he whispered. "It was in my jacket when I woke up." We stared at it. The lid was cracked, the paint faded. Then, without either of us touching it, it began to play. The same haunting melody filled the room. 3 days later, Lucas stopped answering my calls. When I went to his apartment, the door was open. The lights were off, and everything was silent except for a faint tune playing inside. On the kitchen table, a single candle burned beside the music box. I called his name, but no one answered. His phone, his keys, his wallet, all still there. Lucas was gone. The police searched again, but they found nothing. They said he probably left town. But I knew better. That night, I sat by my window, staring across the street. The old house was dark again. No candle, no shadow, no movement. But at 2 a.m., a light appeared. Only this time, it wasn't across the street. It was in my house. Upstairs. I froze. The faint flicker of yellow light spilled out from the crack under my bedroom door. Then I heard it, the soft sound of a music box, playing that same broken tune. My heart pounded as I took a step toward the door. A child's voice whispered gently through the silence. "You came back."